Hello.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to our podcast,
Confidently Controversial.
It's the podcast that stars me, Emily Paul.
And me, from before, Kim Tweed.
Kim Tweed, my best friend.
I feel like you say that on every episode.
That you're my best friend.
Yeah.
I tell that to a lot of people.
And you sound a little like you're claiming me.
She's my best
like,
friend.
Listen, listeners, if you think that you're going to sneak in here.
I've put in the work. I've put in the years of friendship.
She's put up with a lot of nonsense.
That's right. She's my best friend, guys. But yeah, I feel like there's been other times in my life where I am explaining who you are or saying I'm going somewhere with you or I'm doing something with you.
Right.
And I'll describe you as, that's my best friend. Uh-huh. Like recently I put you down as an emergency contact for my dog's training class.
Why wouldn't you?
Because my dog needed an emergency contact.
Right.
But not one. Because I had a couple in there already. Sure. But you needed
multiple?
3. You needed 3 contacts.
And it's funny because I still have yet to meet this dog.
You have not met the dog yet.
But I could still show up and be like, I believe I'm on the emergency contact list.
Yeah, I'm Kim.
Perhaps you've heard of me.
I'm her best friend. But they did ask, like, well, what's the, because they weren't with the relationship, and I said best friend. Where I could have just said friend.
Well, it asked, like, I have a bunch of emergency contacts in my phone, too, and you're one of them. And
thank you. It validates me.
It asks, like, it does ask the relationship or whatever. And I was going to put friend, and then I was like, I feel like I should just list as sister so they understand.
Right. So they let her in when I'm in the hospital room.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's more than friend.
Right.
It is more than friend. But anyway, how are you? How's your weekend been?
Oh, it's been busy. We had our niece and nephew over to sleep over last night. So, that's exhausting. But we had fun. And we were on the playground, first thing this morning. Got to get that sweet alone playground time in.
I mean, I'm not against that.
But it's nice out. It got chilly again. Yesterday was all humid and yuck.
I know. Today is very nice out.
Right.
Because I have to get up at the crack of dawn and take a puppy outside to play.
Right. I don't think you've talked about your new pup on the
pod. Have I not? I was thinking about that this morning. So yeah, I have a puppy now. His name is Rigby. He's a little blue dog. And
blue?
Yeah, he's blue. They call him Blue Trindle.
Okay. He's so fancy.
Okay, first of all, he is fancy.
Okay.
He's a bougie dog.
All right.
And people are like, where'd you get that dog? And I'm like, from Georgia. Because he's not from around here.
He's a Southern belle.
He is. He's a Southern gentleman. And he's a Blue Trindle.
Trindle?
And he's very, very handsome. And, he's a puppy, though. So, he's got his downsides.
Sure.
Too.
He does.
But, we're doing all the things you're supposed to do. We are taking it seriously as a family. And we are training him. And I believe over time, we'll have a good dog. But right now, he's very bitey.
Puppies are.
Puppies are. So, yeah. So I spent a lot of time these past few weeks just taking care of a puppy.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's been good. I had a good weekend. Thank you for asking.
A good one?
A good one. So last night, and I got your blessing before I did this.
Yes.
I went to see Beetlejuice.
Yes.
And I got to tell you.
It was good.
Loved it.
Okay, because I've been a little worried.
Okay, you don't need to be worried. Okay. I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I think the thing that bothers me the most about movies these days, especially that ones that are anticipated at that level, is all of the swag and stuff that surrounds it. Like they're associated with everyone. Like you can get a Subway Beetlejuice sandwich and you can get like a, CarMax Beetlejuice car. I don't know what it is, but like every single company wants a piece of that Beetlejuice money. Yeah. So like they all, and I know that's good for the movies, but I don't feel like that ever bodes well.
Yeah. But then I also think back to another Michael Keaton classic, Batman. The Batman was everywhere. They had so much swag, and I was into it.
Oh my God, yeah. So, but I think that was like when that first started happening. Like, I don't really feel like that happened.
No, Star Wars. I think it's Star Wars because Star Wars was really, they were serious about the merchandise.
Well, yeah, but that was post, right? Post the movie, there was like merchandising built in, and then I
don't know enough about this. Yeah. There might have been other things. I mean, if I'm just going off my own memory, I remember knowing things about the movies before seeing the movies.
Star Wars?
Yeah, like Jedi. I feel like we might have had some things for the movie before the movie.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know. But you're talking about when I was a little kid. I have no idea. I do remember Batman being
maybe
super
you
hype.
get like a Happy Meal toy. But even then, like there was like, I feel like Happy Meal toys were more like Fraggle Rock and Bernstein Bears and stuff like that.
God,
Muppet Babies.
Now I want a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
To get a toy.
Go get one.
Okay, maybe I will, because I'm a grown up and I can
You can do it whenever you want.
I get a Happy Meal whenever I want.
That's right.
But I want to tell you, so I realized last night when I went to the movies, I have a lot of things associated with going to the movies.
Okay.
A lot of like rituals and things that I need to have happen, or it can ruin the experience for me.
Like what?
And I think I get very anxious about the experience being ruined for myself.
It's ruined.
It's ruined. So these are the things. And I think you share some of them.
All right.
But tell me which ones you share in and which ones you feel like are crazy.
All right.
Okay. So the first one is I hate being late to a movie.
Oh, yeah. I would never be late to a movie.
No. Like, I need to be in the theater when the slideshow is happening and then see every single preview.
Yes. 100%.
Yes. So being on time to a movie means you're there before the preview starts.
Yeah, like when the theater's still light.
Correct.
You're not looking for a seat in the dark.
No. Number 2, I need to sit in the middle.
All right.
Because I don't like to be over to one side. I want to see the theater from the center of the theater.
Okay.
So now I used to have a lot of anxiety about it because you couldn't pick your seats.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, I have to get there. I have to get a good seat in the middle. But now
you can choose.
Yeah, now you can choose. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that's taken away a little bit of that anxiety.
Where'd you go? Stone Harbor?
Stone Harbor.
Okay.
Which I also like with the stadium style seating. If I have my druthers, I like to be in that second row in when the tier starts going up behind the handicap aisle, because then there's a place you can put your feet up on like a bar. That's comfortable.
I see. Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. But that's not a make or break moment. Yeah, but being in the middle of the theater, I think is very important to me.
I don't I'm an end person. I like to sit on the end of a row.
Okay.
Mainly because like if someone's like crawling over you or trying to get out and stuff like that, I like to just be able to move completely out of the way.
Oh, okay.
Like, I don't like someone that close to me trying to get out.
Well, nowadays theaters are not that packed.
Yeah, no.
So I don't think it would be that much of an issue.
Right.
But yeah, so that's a big thing for me is getting to the center row. The other thing is once the movie starts, I don't want there to be a lot of talking.
Oh, no.
Don't talk.
No.
I want you to enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
I like people to be into it. I like when people laugh out loud. Mm-hmm. I like when people gasp. And you're allowed to in the middle of the movie. If you see something, lean over to the person with you and like whisper something like, hey, that's so-and-so. Did you notice that thing?
Okay.
Like, I'm fine with that, but you got to do like put your hand over your mouth and like a quiet whisper in someone's ear. Don't talk. Right. That will make my blood boil.
Did someone talk during it?
Maybe a little.
Oh, man.
And... Okay, and I'm also someone who I will do, like, if there's a kid behind me kicking my seat, I will do the turnaround and look and shameful look. I will do that. My first move with that, especially if people are talking, is to do a shh.
You do that?
I do.
Oh, Emily.
I know. And I will turn around. I will give a look. Oh. I will give a hard look at someone.
Oh, interesting.
Because I get very upset that they're ruining my experience.
You're like, I paid $12 for this.
I paid probably more, much more than that. The other thing is people with their cell phones.
Oh, yeah.
Here's my beef. I get it, just because I never have my ringer on my phone. Mm-hmm. But there have been times when I've turned it on for some reason. It's an accident. It happens. So I will forgive you one phone ring.
Yeah, then you shut it off.
Then you're like, oh, shit. I didn't realize this was on. I'm sorry. Right. You turn it off. Right. It never happens again.
Yeah.
There's a person who is behind me. I hear the phone ring. I hear her answer it and like get off the phone. Then a little while later, it rings again.
Oh.
I'm like, first of all, you can shut it off.
Yeah.
You can shut it off.
Yeah.
They have a way to do that. Second of all, you don't have to answer the phone.
No.
Like, unless you are waiting for an important call.
Right.
But then you get up and
go
you
to the movies.
Maybe you shouldn't go to the movies, or you step out of the theater and have a conversation with someone. Mm. You do a thing where you hit the little message button. I'm in a movie theater right now. I can't talk. Is this important? You do that.
I don't like, I feel like it can very easily be taken out of a moment or have like an experience ruined by other people not following the rules.
Yes. Well, that's why I think the talking during the movie theater bothers me.
Yeah. I remember I went to a concert once and we were in like lawn seats, but we were like near the section where it would be with the rest of the concert goers, like that were in the up seats, like the tall seats. And there was a fence and people kept jumping over the fence and I just could not enjoy myself.
No, I'm the same.
Excuse
me. I can't handle it.
Rule breakers.
I can't see anything. And then I'm constantly watching that person who did the wrong thing.
So I feel like I didn't watch the show.
Because you're being vigilant about the other thing.
Right. And you're just watching these people break the rules and feeling indignant about it and upset about it. And then the show's over and it's time to go home and it's experience ruined.
And those people don't care.
No.
They had a great time.
Rule breakers.
They had a great time.
They are rule breakers. They're like, we got to be so close and we didn't even pay for those seats.
I know. But, I will say this was a very good movie theater experience. I would recommend it to anyone, especially if you loved the original.
Yeah, I did. I mean, I do love the original.
Yeah, and that's always the thing I worry about is if you really love it, sometimes it leans too much into it, and you're like, oh God, like,
yeah. I was at a store on Friday evening until they closed, and while I was in there, there were a couple guys working in there. One of them was going to see it and they were talking about it. And, they were like amped up and they were like excited and they were like, speculating about the Maitlands and what happened to them. And then like what what the storyline was going to be and stuff like that. So it was very interesting.
Well, I have to tell you too, something I liked about this is there's a lot of lore built into it and it doesn't answer everything, but it throws out a little breadcrumbs where I think there's still more that like me and my daughter were talking a lot about it afterwards.
Do you think there's going to be a third one?
I don't know that there would be a third one. But I think the thing that you enjoy about this is that although there is a direction you could go in because there is a story, there's a story untold that they kind of throw some breadcrumbs out about, that would be, you know what I said, that you could go to that storyline. But yeah, I really, really, as a child of the 80s who loved that movie, I was really happy.
Yeah, I would like to see it in the theater. Yeah. I definitely would.
Yeah, you should. I think
my husband would like it.
Yes, you should definitely take your husband.
Yeah, just have to get him to go.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're not watching a Beetlejuice movie today. We're watching a different movie.
Okay.
And it's my choice.
I know, I'm excited about that. I didn't have to do shit for this episode.
So, are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So, this isn't going to be good, Emily.
Okay.
What was that noise?
I turned on. I didn't know that you were starting so soon, and I
had just so bored.
I turned TikTok on.
Okay, sure.
It's the ADHD. Okay. I have to keep my brain constantly entertained.
So, I told you I had a busy weekend. I ended up working a very long day on Friday. I didn't get a chance to I didn't even pick my movie until yesterday. And then I didn't do the research until this morning. And I chose a movie and I was really excited to watch the movie that I picked, like really excited. And then I went to go and search for it and it's nowhere to be found. I couldn't even watch it in bits and pieces on YouTube.
Did you order the DVD?
I put it in my cart. I'm going to order it after this.
Okay.
So I had to choose a backup movie and I don't have that many left on my list. So I did research on a new movie this morning and there's not a lot there. I gotta be honest.
Are you less excited to watch this movie?
I'm less excited. I was really psyched about the other movie. I needed the other movie. I felt like it would be a good day for it. But it's okay.
We'll watch it. Did I already ask that? Did you order the DVD?
Yeah, I'm gonna order it.
Okay, order it.
So
do it.
I'm going to. So this movie is my constellation.
It's my shining star. Right. My constellation.
Right. It's my constellation pick. And it was filmed in 1985 and it was released in 1986.
Okay.
All right. So you were 9 years old.
Yes. When it came out.
When it came out. I don't think... I remember when this movie came out and I definitely think we watched it. I know you've seen it.
Okay.
It's not like it was not a hugely popular movie. It was like a mid movie.
Do you think that I saw it in the movie theater? Was it that level or was it a movie that played a lot on HBO?
I think it played a lot on TV. I think I remember my mom really liking this movie. I remember being on TV a lot.
Okay.
It's a pretty safe movie. It's pretty standard. Like I said, it's mid.
I'm so glad you picked this movie and put it on your list.
Yeah. Me too.
Why did you pick this movie?
There's some... I picked this movie originally because I really like... Well, the stars of the movie are good, and there's certain parts of it that delight me to my absolute core to watch the person performing act in this movie.
Oh, well, that was really exciting. Is it a cute boy?
It's not.
Okay.
Well, I mean, sort of. So the movie was made for $18.5 million, and it only made $38 million in the box office. It's decent. They were expecting a little bit more out of it. One of the critiques of the movie says, this movie contains one funny scene and 91 minutes of time to kill.
Oh, no.
It is a comedy.
Okay.
It was directed by Richard Benjamin. And his other films, I'm going to get confused because I have two facts from two movies stuck in my head.
Okay.
But his other movies included City Heat, My Stepmother is an Alien, Mermaids, Made in America, Milk Money, Mrs. Winterbourne, and Marcy 10.
Okay. I know a couple
One of those movies.
Yeah, Mermaids.
My Stepmother is an Alien, and Mermaids.
Yeah.
The tagline is, for everyone who's ever been deeply in love or deeply in debt.
Oh, okay.
There's two main stars in this movie, both really big stars of the 1980s. One of them not as popular as time went on, but the other one of the most popular people in the whole wide world.
Still to this day.
Still to this day.
Okay.
The film is a loose remake of a 1948 Cary Grant comedy film. And that movie, I'll tell you the name of it. It might make you guess.
Okay.
But the movie is Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House. And
oh, is this the Money Pit?
It is.
Yay! Oh my God, you're on like a Shelly Long kick this season.
I know, 2 in a row.
You know what? I'm so excited. It's funny. I was thinking about this movie.
Okay.
And I was surprised that I hadn't picked it yet.
Okay.
Because this movie is one of the top movies in my family.
Yeah.
Like, we watch this movie
a lot.
We quote it to this day a lot. And I would contest that there are many more than one good scene in this.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of great lines. And this is one of those movies that once we see it again, too, I think I will realize that I quote this movie
more often
than I think. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and you see what I mean by, like, there are some spots in this movie where Tom Hanks is just so freaking funny and so unbelievably great that I just, like, I think about it all the time. When we started this podcast, one of my friends that I used to work with at my first job out of college messaged me and was like, the only movie I can think of that you need to watch is The Money Pit.
Yeah.
Because apparently I would talk about it a lot, about how much I loved it and how, enamored I was with Tom Hanks in it. And then particularly that scene where he falls through where the bathtub falls to the floor and he stands there and looks at the hole and he does this amazing, amazing laugh. Yeah, right.
Because that's the insane, I've completely lost my mind,
right,
and I don't care anymore laugh. Yeah, like, that scene's amazing. The stairs are out. Yeah. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That whole sequence with the stairs.
Right, and then the one where there's that electrical fire that goes through the walls.
Yes.
So freaking good.
The other thing I think of with this movie is there is a song that goes throughout that's like, life could be a dream or something.
Oh, okay.
Or no, but I think it's a song that's made for this movie.
Okay.
I don't know, but we'll have to pay attention to it.
So, Roger Ebert hated this movie.
No!
He gave it 1 star out of 4 stars.
Why would you do that, Ebert?
One monotonous sight gag after another. And Gene Siskel likewise gave it 1 out of 4 stars, describing it as miserable and an abject failure. He criticized Tom Hanks for being his usual smug self and Shelley Long for being more cute than she was funny. both both Siskel and another reviewer from the New York Times said the movie's approach to slapstick comedy suffered from the same problems that Spielberg's 1941 did. They also agreed that George Godunov's supporting role was the funniest part of the movie. And I don't know.
Which one is George
Alexander?
Goodenough?
Wait, no. Where did I get George from? Alexander Godunov's supporting role.
Is he the
contractor? Or is he the
maestro
maybe
guy?
the maestro guy. I don't know.
I mean, he's very funny in it.
Yeah. The movie takes place in a house that actually existed. They used the front of the house to shoot, but the interior was different. And that house is still around today. It was last on the market in 2018. It's on the Gold Coast of Long Island, which is like a really schmancy, fancy part of Long Island, about 40 miles east of Manhattan. And in 2018, it was on the market for $5.9 million.
That doesn't seem like a lot. It's like a mansion.
It's a huge mansion. It sold in 2019 for $3.5 million at a loss.
Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if it really does have some sort of hex on it.
Well, they said that the people that bought it in 2002, and they paid $2.125 million for it in 2002, and they put like tons and tons and tons of money into it to redo it. It has 7 bedroom suites plus a 4-bedroom master suite.
Oh, wow.
8 fireplaces. It's on 5.5 acres of land. It has a big pool.
Okay.
It was originally owned at the time the movie was being filmed by Olympian Eric Riddler, and he was a sailor and gold medalist in the 1952 Helsinki Olympics.
Is that who built the home?
I don't know, but he was the owner at the time they shot the movie. They just used, like I said, the exterior shots of it, and the rest was done elsewhere, probably on a soundstage or something. Steven Spielberg's Amblin Entertainment actually produced this movie.
Okay.
And this was the first time that Tom Hanks ever worked with Steven Spielberg on a film. They would obviously go on to become close friends and work together a lot more often throughout the following decades. So there really, like I said, there really wasn't anything interesting. Like, it seems to me like Shelly Long had just had a baby. So, she just came to work and did her thing, and Tom Hanks was Tom Hanks. He would like drive around, and there's like a fun little car.
Yeah.
And like while he was in his off time, he would just drive around in this little car and just like be out and about.
I love this movie. I am actually very excited to watch this movie. I'm curious to know what the movie was that you were more excited to watch than this, because this is a really great movie to watch.
No, it's great.
And I'm very excited to watch it. Tom Hanks how old do you think he was in this?
So Tom Hanks was born in 1956, so he was 30.
Okay.
Thomas Jeffrey Hanks was born July 9th, 1956. He's obviously known for everything.
Sure.
He's such a well-known actor. They call him one of the most popular and recognizable film stars worldwide. And he's regarded as an American cultural icon. His movies have grossed more than $4.9 billion in North America alone, and almost $10 billion worldwide.
But I think Tom Hanks, who he has become and who he is, it's not who Tom Hanks was when this movie was out.
No.
Tom Hanks was just like, he was bosom buddies.
Yeah.
He was a funny comedic actor who people really enjoyed, and he was cute and he was sweet.
Yeah. They said basically his early career, he really worked for his success, really worked to be in it. He was a college student. He was born in California. His first notable role was in 1980's Bosom Buddies, but that show was only on for 2 seasons. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, everyone really took notice of it because of the acting and how good Peter Scolari and Tom Hanks were in the film. Oh, you have a cough now?
I have a cough. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry.
So Tom Hanks's big breakthrough was only about 2 years before this in the movie Splash, where he starred alongside Daryl Hannah and then
Jonathan Candy.
And then after this, he had really big success with the movie Big.
Yeah.
And he earned an Academy Award nomination for that.
And if you like that movie, we did a whole episode on it.
And
you should go back and listen to that. Is this our second T. Hanks?
Yeah, this is only our second one.
That's kind of odd for me, but this is a great Tom Hanks movie. This is I would say this is quintessential Hanks. If you want to see the comedy of Tom Hanks, I would point you in the direction of this movie.
Oh, definitely.
Because he's not trying to be a dramatic actor in this at all.
No, but I think it's funny because I think the way Tom Hanks looks, and like in this movie he's playing a lawyer, so he's a little more buttoned up. That translates it into be even funnier, I think, when he loses his mind over his house.
Yes. Well, the other thing that I've often found weird about this movie is that you don't get the impression that him and his wife, Shelley Long, are very rich.
Right.
But they literally buy a mansion.
But I think that's the thing. They get such a good deal on it, right?
Yeah.
But also then when you think about, like, you look at this house has how many bedrooms? 7 or 8 bedrooms. This huge house. And it's just, and obviously at that time they're 30 years old. I guess they're going to start a family. They have big hopes.
That's so many toilets to clean.
Oh, I know. And especially for, 2 working people, like, it's not realistic.
No.
Especially it's not realistic because they don't have any money. Like, it's not like they can hire a bunch of people to help them take care of it. They hire, like, a ragtag crew to help them rebuild the house and stuff like that, right?
It's pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some great sequences. That's the thing that annoys me about the idea that there's just one funny scene in this movie. There are so many great comedic sequences in this.
Yeah, I think so, too. So, yeah, I mean, I did some more research on Tom Hanks. He has a day named after him.
Of course he does. He has a weird son, too.
He has 2 sons.
But one's really weird.
One's name is Chet.
Sure, that's the weird one.
That's the weird one, yeah. And what's the other one's name?
He's a good actor.
Yeah, he's a good actor.
He was in Fargo. His name is Colin.
Colin. And that's what they say. They say this is what you get when you name a kid Colin. And this is what you get when you name a kid Chet.
Yeah, don't name a kid Chet. Come on. Is his name Chester?
I don't know. I don't know.
I think Chet is just the worst. But I feel bad for Chet. And I think he's on some kind of like reality show now.
Yeah. I have a feeling that, Tom Hanks feels bad for Chet too. Or himself because of Chet.
But I also think, that's your kid.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure he loves him.
I don't doubt that he loves him, but I just wonder what kind of parenting was happening. Like, the world loves, I think that kid maybe needed some therapy that maybe he was or was not getting.
Maybe.
Because Tom Hanks is from our parents' generation. Yeah. I don't know how into therapy they were.
Is Rita Wilson their mom?
Rita Wilson is Chet's mom.
Okay, but not Colin's mom?
No. So my understanding is that Tom Hanks had another wife that he married young.
Right.
And he had, because Colin's about our age.
Yes.
So he was born in the late 70s. So he was there he was born before Tom Hanks got famous or had any sort of acting success. So then I think once Tom Hanks started getting some acting success, you know how it goes. You know how that story goes.
It's the story of my life. Tom Hanks also collects typewriters.
Weird.
He has over 250 typewriters.
Poor Rita Wilson.
That's a big collection. That's a big item to collect.
You have to be famous and have a big house to have a collection like that.
Yeah. And then the only other fun fact I found out about him, he was recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Remember when they got COVID? Yeah. It was like, Tom Hanks has COVID. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like the first famous person to get it.
And we were a little worried about him.
Oh my God.
Because it was early COVID. It was like early COVID when everyone was dying and it was really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can't take Tom Hanks.
No, God.
I know.
America would go under.
Thank God it didn't.
Yeah.
Thank God Tom Hanks survived.
Yeah, so, Money Pit.
Let's go watch it.
You ready?
I'm excited. Let's do it. Why do we build a house up where the flowers grow? The heart. I'm sorry. I'm not going to sing.
That's okay.
It's not a good song. I shouldn't sing it.
It's not a good song at all.
Okay. I'm going to tell you this.
What?
Roger Ebert, you were wrong. It's a great movie. It holds up, and I loved it.
Every minute of it?
I mean...
It's a little slow in some spots.
And I think the end stuff... Are you signaling me that I have something on my face?
No, I'm just scratching my own face. Calm down.
I think that there are some spots where it's slow, where it doesn't necessarily make sense, and...
Doesn't make sense?
Not that it doesn't make sense, but I feel like they put a lot of things out there that just don't go anywhere.
All right. Explain. Well, tell us about the movie.
Okay. So this movie is about Walter. And his wife, whose name is...
Anna.
And Walter is a...
lawyer,
but he wasn't like a firm with his dad, but his dad stole all the money.
Right, and it seems like now he's like an entertainment lawyer for some like rock bands and maybe a kid superstar and stuff.
But it seems like that's what their business was, and but the father skipped town, married like a young wife, and left Walter with a ton of debt. So that's kind of where Walter is in the moment. Like, he wants to have this conventional life. He wants to be married to Anna, but, you know, he's really in debt. She is a violinist in the New York Philharmonic.
Sure.
Which I did look up online because I was like, I wonder how much they make. And New York Philharmonic players actually make pretty decent salaries. Yeah, like, I think they're in like the top end of things, and it's like close to $200,000 a year.
Wow.
Yeah, which is great.
Them.
I'm happy for them. But like lower end orchestra people don't make as much money. So
like regular orchestras?
Yeah, I guess ones where you don't have people buying huge price tickets to go see them. But anyway, so they don't have a lot of money.
Right.
At the beginning of the movie, they are living in this apartment in New York, but it is the apartment of...
The maestro,
who is Anna's ex-husband. Now, you had said earlier that everyone loved that guy who played him. I enjoyed him.
I mean, he was great. He wasn't like a standout or anything like that. Like, I mean, I think he was funny.
Yeah, I think every scene he was in, I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I liked him. Yeah. I liked him a lot, and I actually looked him up and found out some interesting things about him.
Like what?
Well, I learned that he started his career, he's Russian.
Yeah.
And he started his career as in the Russian ballet.
Oh,
studied with Baryshnikov.
Sure.
And he was like a star of the Russian ballet.
Okay.
Was married to a woman who was like also a star of the ballet. And then in 1979, he defected to America. So like he had toured America prior to that. But with the ballet, and then they were going to do another tour in America, and they wouldn't let him go because he was put on a defector list, like that.
What does that mean?
That I guess they thought he was a flight risk.
So he seemed to like America way too much. Or...
I'm sure they were spying.
I wonder how they determine defector status.
I don't know.
Potential defector.
It's like he's wearing those American jeans.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
He's listening to those.
He really loves hot dogs.
Right. And so he couldn't go, but then he did actually defect.
And that means he like snuck?
He snuck. Because you're not really allowed. Remember, that was like a thing in the 80s. Like, you weren't allowed to leave the communist countries. And like people were always worried about that. And I know that that's a thing now with the North Koreans. If they do the Olympics or something like that, there's always this fear that they're going to defect. So they're always like on high watch.
Were they in the Olympics?
From the country. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, like, that's more of a modern day.
Let's not tag North Korea in our podcast.
We're not going to. No, I don't think that they would have any means of accessing this at all.
Not the people, but the leadership, perhaps.
Oh my gosh, what if they were big fans?
They probably are. Two people named Kim just finding each other in the world.
Right. He's like, it's probably great. Her name's Kim. Right. It's got to be awesome. Right. But yeah, he defected in 1979 and he started an acting career. He was actually in a lot of other movies where he did really well. But then he ended up dying kind of young. Oh. He died at 49 years old in 1995. And they said they found him in his apartment of natural causes. To which I'm like, I don't know. Russia kind of keeps the score sometimes.
Keeps what?
Russia keeps the score.
Oh.
Like, I don't know.
Oh, you think he was...
Because even in the thing, it was like, the physician said it was natural causes.
At 45?
At 49. So, who knows?
All right.
Who knows?
All right.
A little side eye to that one. But anyway, I did enjoy him in this movie. So, they live there. He comes back, so they have to move. They have to find a place to live. And, like, this is like one of those things that I feel like, where does this go? They have like a weird friend who's like a shady real estate agent.
Yeah, and that doesn't even seem like the guy seems like he's a real estate. He just like
he likes donuts,
and he manages all the worst homes.
He manages some really bad homes,
but then they go and meet this lady, and she is like when you watch it, having watched it before. you watch her and you realize that she's hiding. You can tell she's hiding stuff. She's like, oh, it's just a squeaky step. Oh, don't use that bathroom upstairs. Use the bathroom downstairs. Oh, I'm just using candlelight because I'm trying to save a little money on electricity.
Right.
Because she doesn't want him to turn on the lights.
That
you know what I mean?
shady bitch.
So she's being, she's trying to lure them into buying the house.
Right. So the thing is, it's $1 million house, but she's got to get out of it fast. So she's willing to sell it for $200,000 cash.
Right.
So like Walter, he's friends with rich people. She's got a little money. They're like, we can do that. We're going to buy this house.
Yes.
So they buy this house and immediately.
Yeah. First day one.
The bloom is off the rose. So, and there are some amazing slapstick sequences with this house.
Tom Hanks is the best at what he does.
Oh my gosh. Like, and the physical comedy.
Yeah, the physical comedy, but it also, like, he eye acts.
He eye acts.
And I feel like it's just, I mean, his whole body.
He acts with everything.
Yeah.
The eyes, the face, the hands.
Right.
The mouth.
Right.
It's all doing the right
But he's
things.
doing it well. Like, he's no Corey Feldman or Haim or whichever one does bad mouth acting.
But I think our issue with the bad mouth acting is they don't have anything else.
Right.
So
Tom Hanks has everything.
He's got the whole toolbox.
I know.
Mouth, eyes,
hands.
But yeah, there's some hysterical sequences with the stairs, like the stairs collapse.
Crumbling.
There's a raccoon attack.
Right.
There's the thing with the door and the fire in the kitchen.
Yeah, the electrical fiber that they follow through the walls, and then it goes to the TV and it flambés the TV.
And then there's the one towards like the end when they he falls through the floor and
he's stuck in the floor with the carpet.
He's stuck in the floor and the carpet, which is hysterical. It's so funny. And the one later when he like tears down the entire scaffolding because he's stuck in the cement. It's silly.
Yeah.
And I guess if you're someone like watching it thinking it's going to be anything other than what it is.
Right.
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you needed all those gags and things like that to show how bad the house was.
But
and
you had said this.
Also, sorry, go ahead.
You were going to, I was going to say, you had said earlier that the review was this is like one funny scene and then 90 minutes of fluff. But I don't think so. I think there are some slow parts. Yeah. But overall, there's constant funny stuff happening.
And they built the story because, obviously they're like young and in love, but not quite married yet, not quite needing to, seeing the need to get married. And they move into this house and these high stress situations. And at first they're like in this together, but like as the time goes on and it's just like they can't like take proper showers. They can't like, they don't have closets that work. They don't have a kitchen that works. They can't do anything. Their house is rubble. There's constantly people all around. They can't have sexual relations.
Jesus, Kim.
Because
could you make that any more weird?
I don't know. It's funny too because in my brain I was like, say something okay. And sexual relations is what I came up with.
Good job, brain.
Yeah, so they can't do that, so they're stressed out. They're in this like difficult situation. So, and you understand that because they're falling through the floors and the stairs are out and
right. But then, so this movie is very funny and it has some just great parts. And like I said before, there are so many things in this that I quote all the time. Like that, I didn't even realize there's one line in this where a guy is carrying a mattress up a ladder and he goes, I think I'm going to die. And I say that
really?
So like in that way that I didn't even remember it was from this movie.
I shout at you.
The stairs are out.
Yeah.
The stairs. And of course, the house is going to be great. Like, I say that a lot,
right,
too.
Right.
The house is going to be great.
Right. It's going to be great.
But it's great. But there are some things about this movie that, again, we watch this over and over and over again as kids. And we love the weak trees. We love the fountain peeing on him.
Sure.
So many great things that kids watching this would definitely be attracted to. However, the low point of this movie, the second act, low point going into the third act is about Shelley Long's character maybe having an affair with her ex-husband.
With Max, the maestro.
The maestro who we love. So he still like has a flame for her, is constantly flirting with her.
Yeah. He's like, you can come home, come live with me, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I think it's more that he can't take it that she doesn't like him.
Right.
Everybody else likes him and she just doesn't really care, which is exactly the kind of attitude that's going to get us. That's going to get you, Christian Slater, one day. Right. You're going to be aloof.
Of course, always.
And obviously when I meet Brad Pitt and I'm just like, who are you again?
Right.
That's what's going to work
familiar.
for me. That's the move that works. And maybe this is the movie that taught us that move. I don't know. But what happens is that Walter is gone for the night.
Right.
And the house is in disarray. It's not going well. There's a lot of just over and over bad things. They don't see the light at the end of the tunnel. And Shelley Long's character is just depressed and she's sad and she's smoking cigarettes and she's just not doing well with it. And the maestro wants to take advantage of this, obviously, and is like, listen, I'm not even going to try and put a move on you.
Just come back to my house.
You look sad. Dinner. Like, obviously, you're in a bad place. Just come back to the house. We'll make you dinner, and we'll just relax, and that'll be fine. And she doesn't want to go back to the house by herself because it's in such disarray. So she takes him up on this. Cut to the next morning, she's in bed with the maestro, and he fully intimates that
that they've had sexual relations.
And she freaks out, and she's like, "Well, I'm going to have to lie." That's the only thing that could possibly happen. I have to just lie to Walter because that's really all that there can be, because I don't want to lose him. I love him too much.
Right. I made this horrible mistake.
Right. So then they get, Walter suspects and it's kind of like, where were you last night?
And I think that when he immediately, he tried to call her, she didn't answer the phone. So she wasn't home. He knows she wasn't home. And I think that their level of their relationship it's not doing great. So he's immediately in this place of distrust.
See, but I also look at it like they have a very good relationship.
Yeah. And
she is acting a little bit weird. And I think he picks up on a vibe because they do love each other.
But at the same time, I don't know. I mean, I think I'd be really upset if the first thing Randy said after I was out with someone was like, "Did you sleep with him?" Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, just automatically going to that place.
And he wasn't being funny about it. Like, he was definitely concerned and really was like...
And then, of course...
But he was right!
And then she laughed it off a little bit. She was like, "Oh, no." And then he was like, "Did you sleep with it?" Like, he was more serious and more emphatic about his question.
And she got defensive.
And
then she was like,
and she still lied.
Yes.
Well, because at that time, she thought she did have sex with him.
She did.
Because that's what...
Spoiler alert,
Max said.
Yes, Max said that they had sex.
Yeah.
Sexual relations.
So she says no. And then they go to bed, and then he's like asking more questions about it.
No, what happens is he makes a comment and says, "Listen, like, I could deal with you cheating on me. What I can't deal with is lying.
You lying to me."
So she's like, "No, I didn't lie. Like, it's fine." And then her conscience gets the best of her. She's like, "Actually, I did." Well, then he flips out and is like really upset about it.
He calls her a whore.
A whore. Yeah. Yes, he does. And then she gets mad at him. Now, I contend that she gets a little too mad.
She does. She's really screaming at him the next day.
And she doesn't really have a leg to stand on.
No.
Like, she's fully like, "No, I'm right, you're wrong. You're the bad person in this scenario."
And she needs to be a little more sorry, because at that point she still does think that she had sexual relations with him. And
and her expectation is that Tom Hanks is just going to be cool with it, like, "Oh, okay, I get it."
And she's not super apologetic or anything like that, and immediately expects forgiveness and for it to be like nothing happened.
I don't know if it's like, well, you said that you weren't going to be upset about it as long as I told the truth, but you did lie a lot up until the point where you finally told the truth.
And I'm going to need a minute to process that kind of betrayal.
Right. So I side with Team Hanks on this one.
Yeah, I'm always on Team Hanks.
Right. But she gets real upset about it, and then they pretty much break up, though they're still living in the house. They're kind of like, "Well, we'll still stay here until the house is done."
Right.
So in the midst of that, the maestro comes over and he tells Shelley Long, "Well, actually, we didn't have sex."
He's like, "I feel kind of bad that you guys are in a bad way."
Right.
We didn't have sexual relations.
We didn't have sexual relations. Okay. I just really wanted you back. And she's like, yeah, well, okay. I feel better about that, but now I have to hate Walter, which is weird too.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Why wouldn't you be like, listen, let's have a conversation about this.
Maybe Maestro can come and
be a part of the conversation.
Right.
And I mean, I'm sure Tom Hanks is going to feel away, but I feel like they need to talk about it. But it's a movie, so they can't.
There has to be high drama.
So then she at the end, the house is done and it is beautiful.
Yes, it is beautiful.
And Tom Hanks kind of says to her, "Listen, I don't care that you had sex with."
I would be okay with it.
Yeah, I don't care that you had sexual relations with Max. I couldn't take losing you.
Right.
And I don't want to be apart from you. And then she's like, well, I didn't. And I love you too.
And he doesn't ask any follow-up questions.
No.
He just takes it as it is.
Cut to, they get married.
Right.
And she has an awesome puffy sleeve on her dress.
She does have a supremely 80s dress.
I love it. I love that dress. Oh my God.
Okay.
I love that dress.
We'll try to get a picture.
Okay. No, I think that it's a great dress. And then the weird bands that he manages are all there at the wedding, including the young teen pop star who's like 12.
Right.
It's funny. I mean, all around, I give it high marks still. It holds up. It's funny. Mm-hmm. I like it.
I really like at the end when or like near the end when they're arguing and they're like so shitty with one another.
Oh, it's so good.
And like she's like, I don't know what.
She goes. I can't believe you passed the bar. 'Cause he's a lawyer, and he goes. Well, I can't believe. He's like, that's because you've never passed a bar
in your whole life. And then he was like, because she was like, well, I have to be drunk to deal with you. He's like, thank goodness it doesn't happen that much.
Right.
Or I can't be sober and deal with you.
Right.
Like, thank goodness it doesn't happen that much. Which is just funny to me because I would laugh. If Randy and I got into a fight like that and he said something like that to me, I would be like, that's funny.
It's a really good line. Yeah. I'd be like, oh, good job.
Right.
That's a sick burn.
Zing.
Sick burn.
Right.
You're right. Yeah, I liked it. It's weird that we did watch it as much as we did when I was a kid.
Yeah, but I always feel like this happens with these movies too. And, divorce is a theme a lot, or like relationships or cheating and stuff like that. And I never remember that it's the main part of the movie, like the main plot line of the movie. Like looking back on it, I always just remember the funny parts.
Right. Well, because I think that your kid brain doesn't understand that level of relationships because you're not there yet.
Right.
So you just gloss that over, and usually that's like the boring part.
Yeah, or even sometimes like the fighting is the funny part because it's silly. Like sometimes the fights are silly.
Yeah. And I think in this movie it's certainly that. Although a big part of this is the whole relationship with her and the ex-husband and him.
Right.
It's a big part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also have to say one of my other favorite lines from this movie is they're trying to get contractors to come.
Right.
And the first one hits on Shelley Long, and he's like backing her in a corner, like trying to get with her. And Tom Hanks is like, hey, that's my wife.
Right.
Step away. And he's like, what? I just thought she was good looking wool.
Right.
So like funny. No one has ever used that.
No.
Ever.
But then Tom Hanks repeats it because he's like, Shelley Long's like all up in arms because he like hit on her or harassed her or, assaulted her, I believe is the word she uses.
Pretty much. And he did.
He did.
Fully.
Yeah. And Tom Hanks is like, come on. He just thought you were good looking wool. Which I want to start using.
I know. I feel like that's one of those lines where I just hats off to the writer.
Right.
Because no one has ever said that. Maybe the writer heard somebody say, hey, isn't that girl some good looking wool or something?
I feel like that's the kind of phrase too that like if someone said to me as a kid, it would confuse me because I wouldn't like understand what they meant by that, and I would think that they meant something like some sort of innuendo.
Right.
And it probably doesn't, but maybe it does.
Like, what do you mean?
Right. Wool like as in
like a sheep?
Or as in like pubic hair?
This podcast is over. Not just this episode, the whole thing.
The what?
I said not just this episode, the whole thing.
Okay, we're done here.
We're done here.
All right. Well, that's easy.
I also say I think it's weird in this movie that the contractors and like their workers are just like a ragtag crazy team of like circus performers.
Right. And they're all different like nationalities and speak all different languages and everything
and
like that.
And they're like punk rock.
Yeah, and some of them drive go-karts to the job. Which is like, how?
Right. There's like punk rockers and weightlifters who... This is another movie, and I feel like this has happened in more than several of these movies that we've watched recently, where when they're showing the freaks, there's a bodybuilder is a freak.
Yeah, one of the guys is fully driving a go-kart to the site, to work site, with like no shirt on, but he's like real like bulbous.
And that's his...
He is.
Strike 2.
What's wrong with the word bulbous?
Stop saying it. Yeah. So, but I guess, back when there were circus freaks, there was always the strong man.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why.
Yeah. Did you ever watch The Greatest Showman? That movie?
Have I watched The Greatest Showman?
Do you love it?
You mean Hugh Jackman's tour de force?
Hugh Jackman and his Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I love that. The song in the beginning, my kids used to love that song.
I had a feeling it was on TV last week, and I was like, I bet Emily loves this movie.
Kim, I think you know this about me, but I'll say it again, that I love a movie musical.
Yeah.
I don't like a musical, but I love a movie musical.
They're making a show out of it, like I don't know if it's a Broadway show, but they're making some sort of
Well, the movie's not that good, but the singing and everything, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite. Okay. But if you're going to watch a Hugh Jackman movie musical, then you have to watch Les Mis.
Okay.
Because that's really good. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Oh, no, maybe not. The Anne Hathaway one?
Yeah.
No, I've seen Les Mis.
But you never saw the Anne Hathaway one?
No.
You should watch
I saw Les Mis on Broadway. I don't think it can get better than that, Emily.
It can. You watch
or
the
PBS version.
Oh, the PBS version.
I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Oh, that is pretty good.
Yeah.
That is pretty good. But this is good. Sacha Baron Cohen and Helena Bonham Carter are the welcome,
exactly.
You know that song? What is that song? Da. Master of the house, keeper of the inn.
Okay.
We really got off track because we're singing Les Mis and we're talking about Money Pit.
And The Greatest Showman.
But why did you bring up The Greatest Showman?
I don't know.
Oh, great.
I don't remember.
Okay.
Oh, because we were talking about circus freaks.
Yes! That's it. Good job, Kim. You figured it out.
Thanks. My brain's not that old.
The elasticity is still there.
Right.
Anything else you want to say about this movie?
No, I just think I loved Tom Hanks in the 80s.
Yeah.
I loved it when he was like pre-Philadelphia, pre-Forrest Gump.
Yeah.
Do
you think, looking at his face, and also like he's like a slim man. Yeah. He's got like this like upper lip thing, like in the middle of his lip that kind of like sticks down a little bit. And I feel like he maybe got that removed.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well I'm gonna look at his face next time. I look at young pictures of him and then older pictures, and he's got like a lip thing.
A lip thing.
Like it like hangs down a little bit.
Emily's like pulling on the middle of her lip, like the part that
They all know. They know who Tom Hanks is. They know young Tom Hanks.
They don't know about his lip thing. Nobody does.
Okay, well...
Look it up. Tom Hanks' lip thing.
Yeah,
it doesn't come up.
It's going to. You're speaking out of turn. You don't know that.
All right.
Okay. Well, I have nothing else to say other than I loved this movie then. I love this movie now. Okay. And I will watch it again.
Well, I'm glad it was on the list. Thanks, Emily, number 2, who was the one that recommended it for the podcast.
Okay, yay.
All right. Hold on. So we just have one thing to do.
Okay.
And that's link this movie to the man.
The myth.
The legend.
Kim's husband.
Christian Slater.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. How are we going to do that?
Well, luckily, I remembered. And we brainstormed it and we figured it out. And look, guys, James Spader was the one. We really were able to get some diversity with the Spader.
Right.
This one, Christian Slater, not so much.
We're working on it. And honestly, I would have to say that the thing I love about this part of our show is that it's nice to like when we do the Instagram posts.
Yeah.
And you really go deep, and you find some great pictures.
I do try to do a good job.
And it makes me so happy every week. Like, that post I look forward to, because I'm like, which pictures she's trying to pick.
Yeah. And it's nice because with James Spader, we use the same picture of him every week, the best picture of him.
Yeah.
However, with Christian Slater, we mix it up.
There's so many good pictures of Christian Slater.
He's photogenic.
He's a handsome man.
Handsome, yeah.
He is. And he still is. Like, he's in a movie recently, so I've been seeing him around a lot more.
Don't blink twice or something.
Yeah, he holds up.
Yeah, he's keeping it tight.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so this one's pretty simple. Tom Hanks.
We know him.
He was in one of the movies I'll maintain is one of the best movies of all time.
Which is?
That Thing You Do.
I need to watch that again.
Maybe can we bring it to the pond? It was 96. That's not too late.
No, we can do it.
Right.
But not tomorrow.
Well, no.
Okay. Or we could just, like, hang out and watch it.
Yeah. That would make me so happy.
Let's do it.
Okay. It's just a delightful film.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
Okay. So he was in That Thing You Do. And Steve Zahn was in That Thing You Do.
He was.
And I think you connected him recently to a 2014 television program called Mind Games.
Yep.
And that's it.
That's it. There we go.
So, connected. Consider it connected.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you going back, listening to all those episodes that you love with all your favorite movies. Blast from the past.
Gross.
I know. I'm sorry. I hated myself when I said it out loud, too.
I hated you, too.
But you can find all of our repertoire of podcasts on our website. You can find them on iTunes. You can find them on all the things where you find podcasts.
And guess what's coming up, guys? Spooky season.
Is that next week?
Yes.
Oh my God, guys. If you weren't here last year for spooky season, we get into it. It's kind of a special thing for us. We both really love spooky season. Mm-hmm. So we'll be doing 4 movies in a row. Will all be
Halloween movies.
Yes.
And that's pretty exciting.
That is really exciting. So stay tuned for that. Get excited for that. In the meantime, follow us on Instagram to see all of Kim's amazing content.
Yeah. And go to the TikTok because Emily, she's basically a production queen.
I really am.
And makes some really sweet videos for the show.
With our banter.
Yeah.
I utilize our banter. I take it and I elevate it.
Yes. That's what it is, folks. Just little clips of banter. And yeah, so, and you can buy merchandise if you want to. We would like it. Imagine if we were out in public and saw someone wearing one of our things and it wasn't my husband wearing our hat.
I don't think it would register to me.
I would. It would to me because I designed it.
Would you cry?
I don't know. I would be like, that's weird.
I mean, we'd have to approach the person and say something.
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
Oh, my God. All right. Well, yes, you should definitely buy a T-shirt. Mm-hmm. Why not? Support us. Buy a T-shirt.
Right.
Do all the things. And we love you.
And
listen, guys. If you see a house on the market and you can, like, see it for what it could be, you're a dreamer like that.
Yeah.
Be confident and purchase that home.
Yeah, but don't be controversial.
Yeah.
And not get a building inspector.
No, God. What?
I mean...
Did they not do that in this movie?
It doesn't seem like they would have.
I guess. Oh, yeah. Before you buy.
Right.
Get it inspected.
Yeah, don't just pay cash for something. Because these people are scammers. We didn't even talk about that. They did it again at the end.
And there was, like, Nazi involvement. I don't know. It's weird.
It wasn't a good look.
But anyway. We love you guys. Tune in next week for the start of Smooky season. And we will talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Controversial.